Wow, my computer's so damn slow and so bad that I didn't realize that it had already clicked. Wow, I apologize for that. That was bad. Yet again, just as with the Week Zero podcast itself, my intro is always bad. It seems I have a penchant for that. But what is up, guys? Welcome to the Week One recap of Hokies Focus. Can't believe I'm finally doing this, or that we've finally college football is finally back for VT. Um, and so I'll be looking back at the ODU game, and then looking ahead to the Purdue game coming up this weekend. Um, so be sure to hit like and subscribe. We finally got to 200 subscribers. It's just a tiny little goal for us. Or it's a big time goal for us. It's a small number relative to obviously a lot of other YouTubers, but it shows that we've slowly been building up over the past few years. And we do think that we'll blow up and get better, and this will grow more as we go forward. And so we hope that that you guys will join us on that journey. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to look at the ODU game and kind of give my thoughts on the game. Obviously, the big worry coming in obviously was just VT, shit in the bed against ODU again. Now, in the this was the fifth time they've played each other. The third time at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech had won both times at home. ODU had won both times at home themselves. So it was. So I definitely thought that there was a chance, or not a chance. I definitely felt that Virginia Tech was going to win, but I thought it was going to be close, and it was close for a good chunk of the game, which is very worrying overall for my liking. I'll just say. So yeah, a 19-point win. I think it was a 16. I think VT were 16-point favorites, so they actually covered, which I was kind of surprised by. But yeah, the big thing was obviously it was very slow going at the beginning of the game. Neither team really scored until ODU finally had that miscue. And I think it's a contractual obligation that an ODU Virginia Tech game has some stupid, crazy, um, you know, um, special teams mishap. This year was the the punt attempt going out of the back of the end zone, or the ball going over the punter's head out of the back of the end zone for a safety. Last year was VT had a field goal attempt that I think would have given them would have they given them the lead? I can't remember this exact circumstance. I think it was either going to give them a 3-point lead or extend their lead. The ball, I think, either was a little too high or went straight through the holder's hands, and it was recovered by ODU in return for a touchdown. That was like a 14-point swing that I think gave them the lead. And trying to think, what about 2018? Was there anything in 2018? I can't remember much about 2018. I've kind of tried to forget, especially 2018, out of my head. But overall, it was a very much a mixed bag game for VT. Offense overall was better than I thought it was going to be. At least passing wise, definitely a lot better. Grant Wells, I saw he finished 17 of 29, so that's not the best. That's just over. That's about maybe 55, 56% completion, maybe 60, for 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, but an 88 QBR, and I think that's actually that 88 QBR. I saw it was like top 20 in week 1, so he actually had a really good game overall. QB Chiron Drones, VT was trying to, I guess, do a two QB system at the beginning of the game. Can't remember. It wasn't the first drive. I think it was the second or third drive. I think it was the second drive. They brought drones in for a little bit to run the ball. Yeah, and then that's the one where Virginia Tech got stuffed on 4th and goal. which then ODU's following drive was where they had the bad punt go out the back of the end zone for the safety. Um, so I guess they were trying to, get drones, some running lanes, but VT could not run the ball at all. The offensive line was not good getting off the ball or getting off the line of scrimmage and getting that push, making some rush or making some clean running lanes. Wells ran a bit good. Obviously, 7 carries for 27 yards. I think I'm not sure if that includes sacks or whatever, because I think he maybe took a sack or two. Um, so Wells is a little bit better running than you would think. Um, and that was kind of the worry for Virginia Tech's offense. The biggest question was the wide receivers, just how good were they going to be, in my opinion. So many new transfers. I think they had 3 new wide receiver transfers who all contributed. I'll get to them in a bit. But then the next question was the offensive line, because I think there's a lot of guys there that they have brought in. And it's a very young line for the most part. And clearly they're still meshing. 210, however you want to say his name. I keep saying not even 3 yards a carry. And he was a really good running back coming from the FCS level. So he's still a good running back. So is Malachi Thomas. Bryce Duke was a big recruit that they got. I think it was either last year or this year for this class. I can't remember as well for him. But yeah, the Virginia Tech couldn't run the ball, and the defense could not stop Old Dominion running the ball. 201 yards rushing total for ODU, nearly 5 yards carry. The only good thing was the long was only 27 yards. So that's good, but Grant Wilson was just killing them on the RPOs, QB runs, just keeping the ball. They were not spying him at all. Even in the second half when they had been doing it for part of the first half, and they were not spying him at all. So yeah, the defensive line, that's kind of an issue. The defensive line it's a weird mixed bag. They got I think Virginia Tech had 5 sacks, and I think they all came from defensive linemen. But then the defensive line also got no push when it came to the run game. There was a few plays where they got in the backfield and stuff, but for the most part, 201 rushing yards given up is not really a typical VT defense, obviously. I think this was the first game where Pry was not, since Pry has been here, that he was not that he's not calling defensive plays, because that's what his primarily was he was a defensive coordinator at Penn State. So that's kind of a big thing. But yeah, the big thing for VT was their top 3 wide receivers who all transferred in. Jennings, Lane, and Felton all contributed pretty good. Felton, I think, had a drop or 2. I remember that. But Lane had 69 yards, nice, and a touchdown. Jennings got a revenge against ODU. Oh, that's just I was wondering what that sound was I was hearing. And 2 touchdowns. Long of 44 yards, a beautiful pass from Wells to Jennings that he almost broke a tackle for a long touchdown. So yeah, I mean, that's fantastic for VT. The 3 wide receiver interceptions, the 3 wide receiver touchdown receptions are already half of what Virginia Tech had last year. For wide receiver receptions, they only had 6 all last year, which just shows how bad the wide receiver room was last year. Graham Wells is already a third of the way to the number of touchdowns he had passing last year. He only had 9. So it's good. Definitely the biggest takeaway offensively is definitely just hopefully they can get the run game going again, because that's definitely what they need to do. That was really what bothered me the most, was they kept trying these runs up the middle on first and second down, and it was just not going anywhere. And I was saying that, and also trying these bubble screens and wide receiver and running back screens to the flat that weren't working very well at times. And I got mad and I was like, why are they not throwing it downfield in the very next play? Wells completes the long pass to Jennings to put them inside the 30, I think. I was like, well, there you go. But Wells has a pretty good arm, but he also likes to throw it like he's a pitcher throwing a fastball. He just likes to chuck it as hard as he can, and so that can lead to some drops if the receiver isn't expecting it, or if it goes straight through their hands, like it happened. I think that happened at least 2 or 3 times. There were a few times. There was at least 2 or 3 times where Wells probably should have thrown a pick, but it didn't happen that way. As for the defense, like I said, it was the rush game against ODU. That was the big problem. But receiving, they kept Wilson really in check. He also had a bunch of overthrows. It was his first career start, so he gets kind of a benefit there. But 13 to 25, not even 100 yards, but 2 touchdowns, but had a pick. Really low QBR there. Oh, excuse me. I'm so tired. They had 3 fumbles, 2 of which Virginia Tech recovered. And so, yeah, how many sacks is there? Yeah, 5 sacks. So, and then Dorian Strong had the long interception return. Punt yardage I saw something that just with the 3 punts that Virginia Tech returned, they had 86 total yards, which was last year against ODU, they had like 6 returns for like 5 yards. So they were far better at in the punt return game. Kickoff return doesn't look like there was much there for anyone for Virginia Tech. I remember I think Tootin and Thomas were both back there and they ran into each other trying to field the punt, and Tootin caught it, and then Thomas ran right next to him trying to catch it as well. So they that almost was a bad moment. I think that was to start the game too. So I was a little scary seeing that to begin with. But overall, good step, good first game. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I guess ODU just plays us tight. It was a 16-10 halftime lead for Virginia Tech. They then got a touchdown. Then ODU came back and got another touchdown. But then Virginia Tech kind of was able to kind of show that they at least are better built, or just have the better athletes, which you would hope. And they would have taken it. It could have been a lot bigger of a win if they had gotten the touchdown on 4th and goal. And if they converted the 2 fumbles into more than just 6 points, because I think they at least turned the points, or the turnovers they got, into points, other than the interception, because that ended the game and they just kneeled it from there. But yeah, so definitely a good stepping stone. I think the offense is going to be better, and I definitely think that Jennings, Lane, Felton are definitely going to be good and helpful. Benji Goslin, he is probably going to be I think he's a tight end. He's going to be probably the primary tight end now, because Nick Gallo, who missed this game, has been ruled out for the rest of the season with some knee. What the hell was that? Something just fell off my desk. I don't know what that was. Where was I? Nick Gallo. He's having knee surgery. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. I don't know if it's like a torn ACL or something, but he was scratched before this game. He had suffered something during practice, I think. So yeah, we'll quickly go on to the Purdue game. I know that's this game. Here's the Purdue game. So they lost by 4 to Fresno State. And when I first saw this, I thought it was like, oh, maybe it was just one of those games where Purdue actually, like, one of those games where Purdue outgained them and stuff, but Fresno just was able to take advantage of some miscues by Purdue and stuff. But no, I think Purdue was thoroughly outplayed. Over 120 more total yards for Fresno State, almost 120 more passing, just only 7 more rushing. Um, and they actually didn't have any penalties. But Fresno State had the ball for nearly 37 minutes. If you have the ball for that long, you probably should win the game in football. So, um, and also third down efficiency. Fresno was very efficient. Purdue was not. And later tonight, when we do our actual recap and I give my stunners and bummers, I'll just say Purdue, there's something that Purdue did that is going to be my bummer. And I'll talk about that in a bit more context there. But yeah, passing wise, it looks like 17 of 30. Passing was just not good. Let me go to the box score. Hudson Card, yeah, 17 of 30, barely. What is that? 50. Yeah, that's like that's not even 60% passing, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, 66 QBR. Meanwhile, Mikey Keene, excuse me, looks like they just didn't miss a step after Leiter or whatever his name was from Fresno State left. Rushing, looks like Elijah Gillum was doing pretty good, nearly 5 yards a carry for them. Man, I'm just a mess. At first I yawn, then something falls on my desk. Now I sneeze. Looks like the big one to watch out for is Devin Maccabee. 16 or 60 yards on 16 carries, just under 4 yards per carry and 1 touchdown. It looks like Hudson ran it a bit. I did not watch the game. I only saw the end of the game, so I don't know if these were QB draws or just scrambles. Yeah, and looks like Deion Burks was the big one. Wow, 4 receptions, 152 yards, and 2 touchdowns for 38 yards per catch. That is unbelievable. Excuse me. So either Dorian Strong or Mansour Delaney. I don't know. Is Delaney actually hurt? Or is Delaney there? Let me see. Because I did not hear his name called that much during the game. But yeah, he's not hurt. So I guess he was there. I just never heard his name called that much. But yeah, Dorian Strong or Delaney will be on Burks. Obviously, there are 2 best corners, probably Strong, though Delaney's really good as well. And so let's just see. Okay, so I mean, first game for Purdue without Jeff Brom. How do you say his name? I think it's Brom. Wait, or is it Brom? I can't remember. Oh, right, Satterfield, I think, is their new head coach. So, 0-1 start to his career there at Purdue, and so now Purdue is going to come to VT. VT, I believe, is now a. What's up, Luke? Glad you could be here, man. I appreciate it. Ryan, I've already mentioned it, dude. I've already mentioned it. So, looks like VT 56% favorite. I think they're I think they were 1 point favorite. I think it's gone up to 2 now for VT. But yeah, the difference in yards, the Purdue's defense is probably a lot. I don't know. Maybe Purdue's defense is a bit worse but I think also Fresno State just has a really good offense as well. Really, the big thing for me that I hope VT can cut down is the rush yards allowed. That'll be a big deal for them. And looks like they're pretty much the same offense. They're 5 yards apart. At least, obviously, this is only week 2, so the numbers will change. Obviously, since it's all perfect like that. But Purdue is in a division that is not the best in the Big Ten. VT also plays at Rutgers in 2 weeks, so they get 2 Big Ten teams. But thankfully, it's not Ohio State, Michigan, or any of those teams. We won't have the pick'ems until Thursday, um, I probably will still take VT, but it's going to be a close game. Um, I think it's VT. Really, this whole the whole beginning of the season up until they get to the ACC portion of their schedule is really going to be the where I'm going to get to see how good the offense and the team is overall. Um, because um, like obviously because it's VT's offense is still I'm not sure what to think of the offense. Um, and there's I'm still scarred by Grant Wells, how bad he was last year. Um, so we'll have to wait and see. Um, Definitely the thing I most want to see is the offense, the run game do a lot better, um, and be able to put together good sustained drives because there was no push. They were last in the game. There were plenty of times where they were getting 1-2 yards, and they were being put in second and third and long situations. Um, and so sometimes some drives stalled out because of that, for VT. Um, Going forward, I don't know what they're going to do with drones, if they're going to keep doing what they did, or if that was just to see how ODU is going to react, right? Because they had him pass it once, but it was only for like 8 yards. So I don't know if drones is going to try and be used as that change of pace quarterback, kind of like it's obviously not the same, but it's in terms of a skill level, but it's kind of like what VT did with, or not VT, Michigan did with McCarthy and Cade McNamara. They would rotate them in that and stuff. McCarthy was definitely the running QB when those two were together back in 2021. So I don't know. Drones probably is going to be just that change of pace, uh, bigger bodied rushing QB, um, and try and get those short yardage gains when it's, or down in the red zone stuff, which is ironic because obviously VT didn't get the touchdown when they needed that to happen. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a close game, I think. ESPN2, which means I can watch the game. I can watch a little bit of it depending on what I'm doing at work on Saturday. But since it's on ESPN2, I'll be able to watch it, so that'll be good. I'll be able to follow it along. I mean, that's really it. I mean, I'll just say I'm going to probably pick VT to win, but that's way too small of a spread to go one way or the other. I would never touch the points if you were betting on this game, which you'd kind of be crazy to do that. Excuse me. Um, so, good first game for VT. On to the next one. And if they can go 2-0 going into their little road trip that they have to Marshall and then to Rutgers, I'd feel very confident because Marshall did not look good at all against Albany. They had to come back against an FCS opponent. So VT wins this game, I'd be feeling pretty good going into that Marshall game, depending on how this game goes as well. But anything can happen. It's college football. That's why I love it. That's why everyone loves it. Or anyone who's a fan loves it. But it should be a good game. Last time these two played was back all the way in 2015, I think, and VT blew Purdue out on the road. Let me see if I can find it. Obviously, this is that's a long time ago. VT versus Purdue. Was it 2015? Yeah, it was 2015, and Virginia Tech won 51-24 in Purdue, and that was the first time they never played each other. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, it's different. I'm wondering. I think this is another home and home, so I think VT will play at Purdue next year, because they didn't play each other last year. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But yeah, so be sure to like and subscribe if you guys watch. Can both lose, please? Man, why do you want both of them to lose? Do you hate Purdue that much, or do you hate VT that much just because you want to see? No, do you want VT to lose just to see me suffer? And then I don't know. Like, what's wrong with you? The only time I ever want that if it's like Duke versus UNC in basketball. That's about the only time I ever want that. Or the Patriots playing the Steelers in football for like the AFC Championship game. That's when I would want that to happen somehow. But make sure you like and subscribe. I'll end it here. Where tonight is going to be our recap, our overall week recap. God, I cannot speak at all. Recap of week one. Talking about Colorado, TCU. Talking about Duke beating the crap out of Clemson. That was fantastic to watch last night. Looking at the AP poll and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. Luke, really, bruh. Okay, okay. Luke, if VT wins, you have to trade me a running back for T Higgins in our fantasy league. Let's see what you say to that. I'm gonna wait until you say that. But yeah, we'll do a recap of week one tonight. Do our stunners and bummers, me surprise and meme team of the week. Look at the AP poll and our thoughts, and then on Thursday we will do our preview. No, you're not gonna do that. Thought I could force you to do it. And then Thursday we will do our preview of week two. Do our pick'ems. We will also give our own personal AP poll rankings. We'll also do our own rankings, how we would rank the teams, and just look ahead to the season, to week two and the pick'ems. So be sure to like and subscribe. We're over 200 subscribers, and it was a small number, but for us, it's a big deal. We're glad to have finally gotten there. Luke, let any friends that like football know to like and subscribe, man. Trying to get bigger and bigger, trying to get there. We want to make this to where we can maybe do this more often and stuff. Lucas hopes that we can get this big enough to where it's his full-time job and he doesn't have to work at an airport anymore as a security guard there. So, that'll be maybe a few years down the line if we at the rate we're going. But you never know. But yeah, be sure to like, subscribe. We will see you later tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard. Yeah, Eastern Standard Time. I thought it was Eastern Central Time. My God, I cannot speak. I just need to go to take a nap and get some food in my stomach. I'm hungry. But I will see you guys in just a couple of hours. Peace.